the whole That's what it is.
Back home in Germany, what was your go-to meal? What did you eat all the time? What could you eat all the time in Germany? Either it was a family meal that your mom or your dad always made, or it was a restaurant that you remember, or a fast food joint if you guys even have that.
I think unhealthy food.
Yeah. Is the devil.
We had like delis on the road, like hangars on cars, so they would like be in different spots in the city, kind of like taco trucks.
Okay,
Basically, taco truck.
I got it.
But they have instead just chickens, half chickens or whole chickens.
Oh shit!
And they have pork hogs.
What do they have?
Pork hogs.
Pork hogs?
Yeah.
In the truck for you to eat?
They have them. They're it's like rotisserie chicken and rotisserie pork, and the pieces are huge.
Yeah.
And this is one of those foods that I really miss. Because I looked at in some Mexican shops and restaurants and stuff, if they have anything like that. Mm. They have them, but usually in order to make like soup or something like that, but never the really full-grown hogs.
Yeah, that's rare. You don't see that.
They are so delicious. They are unhealthy as hell. Like, I'm pretty sure you can take like 2 years off your life for every single piece you eat. But it's totally worth
And what do they do? They just slice it off and give you a piece? Is that how it works?
No, you get like a
whole thing?
One. Yeah, a whole one with the bone and everything.
Drumstick?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah,
okay.
you're sitting there with one big drumstick for the next hour.
And I thought a turkey leg at Disneyland was a little too much.
Because of the rotisserie, it's really soft. So some of the parts are like really fatty that you can take off, and the meat, the soft part, the reddish meat, just falls off. It's
fall off the bone taste. Guy Fieri would call that a home run.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's out of this world.
Straight like to Flavor Town.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say though, some of the best food I've ever had was overseas in Roma. We had carbonara, and I had lasagna, and I had pizza, and
of course, what else?
What else would I eat? They don't eat anything else. I also had a cannoli too. Cannoli. It was very good. The thing about that is, their food is, I swear to God, dude, it doesn't taste like, because you go to a restaurant, you feel like something's frozen. You can eat it, and you can be like, this shit is frozen.
Sure.
I didn't feel that anywhere I went there. Of course, I also did go to the McDonald's in Rome, which is you have to. As an American, I had to go because I wanted to see what it was like.
Nope, that's completely wrong. Why would you go?
No, what do you mean? No. I went into that McDonald's and it was like an embassy. I went in there and there was people from all walks of life in there, and I was like, this is kind of cool because McDonald's is such a unfortunately iconic U.S. company that I wanted to see it in Rome, right? That was the big thing. Like, is the menu different? What does it look like? How does it feel? I didn't say McDonald's was the best meal I've ever had. No. The Rome.
No one ever said
Rome.
that.
Probably like carbonara. The carbonara there was absolutely just.
I believe it. Yeah, fantastic. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, which leads us into today's episode: meals on reels. We're gonna talk iconic moments in cinema with food. If it's something that you wanted to crave, or a scene that made you react to it, or you want to try the food. That was the big thing.
We just talked about Planet Express, right? No, not Planet Express. What was it?
It was Planet Express.
No, what was it?
The name of the... Yeah, it was
in Toy Story?
Pizza Planet. Pizza Planet. In Toy Story, Pizza Planet. Yeah. Planet Express. Isn't that fucking
that was Futurama?
Yeah, that's Futurama.
Almost.
Close enough, dude.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like really amazing foods out of movies.
Yeah.
But when you turn on your movie, now you can do it with Alexa, and you can use Samuel L. Jackson's voice. It's 99 cents for the introduction.
It's 99 cents?
And then after, I think after the trial time is over, you pay $4.99, and then you have Sam Jackson. I would pay $5.99 for Sam Jackson.
I would pay about $10 for Sam Jackson.
Is there an R-rated version of that? That would be amazing. If
I wouldn't think he would agree with this unless he could be R-rated.
I'm sure he would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm sure his paycheck, his bank account would agree to it. Yeah.
Amazing.
So let's just jump right into it. But first, we would like to announce that we're brought to you by Capital. Broadcast
Network.
You try to always beat me to the punch, huh? You guys and your blitzkriegs, huh?
That hit deep.
You see what I did there, dude? I reached into history. So I wanted to talk about. It could either be you first or me first, Mike. It's
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw something else at you then.
Yeah. The first one that came to my mind actually, without having to do research, was the scene in Goodfellas where they're in prison and they get the lobster on ice, they get the steak, and he's cutting the garlic with the razor blade. Do you remember that when they get locked up for a while?
Oh yeah.
And they have like the meal in the prison. They're eating better than most people out of prison eat. And inside, you see him bring in the lobster on ice, and he's sitting there slicing the garlic with a fucking razor. And every time I see that, I'm like, damn, I want to go to jail and eat this food with these guys because they're having the time of their life. They have loaves of bread, they have wine, they have scotch, and that was one of those scenes in the movie where I was like, damn. And in early on in that movie, there's food all around. You know, you see like the Italian.
That was still in the 60s in that movie, right? During that time.
Yes.
That was still in the 60s when it went.
So you had like the delis on the corner. That's like where one of the shops was ran out of, or one of their fronts
was it the 70s already? Was he already Ray Liotta? Was it already? Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah.
There's some, and then he goes on, and you see just like it's Italian food, dude. And then you have that scene where he tells her not to stop stirring the sauce when he's leaving to go like take someone to the airport or whatever. Yeah. He's like, don't forget to stir the sauce, or you got to stir the sauce. And you're like, dude, I want to taste that sauce because what the fuck does it taste like?
Did you know about lobster? That lobster is super expensive, and like I love lobster. I love like I could eat all the time. Generally in seafood, I love it. But it was actually poverty food back in the 1890s. Really? Around that time. Yeah, it was almost only lobsters because like the only like consistent source for food, especially in New England, in that area on the East Coast, was just seafood. Because everyone had boats, but no one was able to harvest during certain times. Yeah. It was harsher during the winter, so poor people were just eating lobsters all the time. Damn. It completely switched out, yeah.
Weird.
It was actually poor people food, yeah.
That's an interesting switch. Yeah. That's an interesting switch. Wow.
Historically, yeah. It's
lobster.
Really interesting. It was never intended to be super expensive. Now it's
like $25
yeah,
for
like
a tail.
Every time I'm in San Francisco, I eat at least like one lobster roll.
Oh.
And a lobster roll, one lobster roll is like $8.
Every time I go to San Francisco, I have to get the chowder in a bread bowl.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Time.
I mean, I'm only there for food anyway.
yeah. Let's face it,
dude. The first time I went there a few years ago, and I ate the very first time chowder in a bread bowl, I was so freaking amazed.
Isn't it the best? Just mix of just
absolutely
food?
Taking apart the bread and then the soaked bread with the sauce inside, and you eat the rest. And I'm sitting there, and it's like,
that's some genius shit right there. I could also see that coming from poverty as well. I can see a clam chowder bowl in a bread bowl.
The way it's made, it appears like this is how you would make it. Like it appears like with less resources. Yeah, this is just a pure assumption.
It's a speculation. Yeah, I don't know where the origination is, but I can see how that wasn't a wealthy or like food connoisseur making that shit. I'm pretty sure it seems like something.
Curious about that. I have to look into that.
Yeah, we
that
gotta look that
up. Really interesting because it doesn't go. It's not very far fetched from the lobster historically. Yeah, but where the chowder and the bread bowl. If you have never had chowder and a bread bowl,
you gotta. This has just turned into a seafood. This just turned into a food episode. We're not even talking about movies.
We're just gonna stay in San Francisco with our heads right now. We're gonna lose our heads and our stomachs in a lot of places tonight for sure.
Yeah, this episode is inspired by hunger. If you guys couldn't tell.
Rich food, poor people food. Have you seen The Platform?
No.
It's
yes.
I've
seen The Platform. I don't think I fucking finished it, but I got started on The Platform.
Yeah, it is What is it? It's basically like a prison, and everyone's on different levels. It's like I think like 132 levels or whatever. And the table.
Nobody knows exactly how many levels it goes because it's because the idea was that this guy wakes up and he wakes up with a person across from him. And in the center, there's a hole.
I think they explain it actually. Yeah, so it's this one cell, and you have like two people in each cell.
Yeah,
and there's a hole in the middle, and they're all staggered on each other. and they can look and up and down, and they can see the other cells, but they're so far away from them that they cannot actually climb down to the other cells. Right. But the table comes down every single day. Is it?
No, it's what was it? Is it every single day? Yeah, it is. I think it is every single day. So the way it works is the higher up you are,
you get the table
closer,
with the food. Yeah,
the closer to the food when it starts to come down. And it's crazy because in the movie they show scenes of the kitchen and how the kitchen is ran so as if it was like a French restaurant with like the highest standards. Everybody, all the chefs are wearing like, it looks super
like a
organized.
Ramsay kitchen.
Yes, it's almost it's exactly what I would imagine, like a Ramsay ran kitchen. Everybody's professional. The food that they load up on that platform, super elegant, super delicious looking, and then it slowly starts to descend to the levels. And ultimately, the lower it goes, the less food becomes available.
Because everyone is eating.
Because everybody's fucking eating
level,
it. Yeah. And then you have a character that's struggling to get the people above them to ration the food. Because then they hypothesize that if everybody rations, there's enough for everybody on the floor.
This is basically the point. If we just share all and all take just a little bit, just one portion basically,
people can live.
Everyone would have food. Yeah.
It's
a good metaphor about
it's a good movie for me.
situations about like rich and poor and the distribution of all of that.
True.
Advantages in life and everything. So on that part is really good. It's just really gory and really depressing.
Super gory, super depressing. And the guy who wakes up in there went in there voluntarily. Otherwise, it was a prison. So the guy went in there to cut off some